Hello, my name is Keshwani. That's Keshwani, Keshwani. We are here because we want to prepare for SAT. We have been solving SAT math problems out of this book here, the official SAT study guide. If you do not own this book already, purchase one immediately. You're going to need it. The problem that we are about to solve is the one that you will find on page number 948. Please turn to it. Page 948, and today is our lesson number 136. Today we begin the very last exam in the book. There are 10 exams in this book that I just showed you. We have solved so far every single math problems in the first 9 exams, and today we begin the very last one. Let's take a look at it. The section has 18 questions in it. And just because it has 18 questions, we cannot just assume that the first 6 are easy, the next 6 are medium, and last 6 are hard. You must always check to make sure that all the questions in the given section are all of the same type. And that is not the case here. There are 18 questions here, out of which the first 8 are multiple choice, and then the next 10 are gradient questions. 1 through 8 are multiple choice, and 9 through 18 are gradient. Which means the scale of difficulty for the multiple choice questions in this section goes from 1 through 8. Number 8 is difficult. Number 7 is difficult. Let's take a look at number 1. It says the total cost of 3 equally priced mechanical pencil is $4.50. Alright, so three of them cost $4.50. So from that we can safely conclude that one must cost $1.50. Let's see what happens. Let's go on then. If the cost per pencil is increased by 50 cents, so they're increasing the price by 50 cents. So here's your new price, which is $2 per pencil. That's the new price. And what is it that you're looking for? How much will 5 of these will cost? Well, that's straightforward. Times 5, which is $10. As I said, number 1, number 2, they are very straightforward, very simple. The answer is $10 because it used to cost $1.50. They increased the price by 50 cents, and therefore it's $2 a pencil. $2 a pencil, 5 of them will cost $10 obviously. Number 2. In number 2 they give you some readings here for X and Y. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 7, 11 and 15. Let's see what they're asking. The table above represents a relationship between X and Y. Which of the following linear equations describes the relationship? So we have to go through all of these 5 linear equations that they give us and see which one fits the data. Let's see. A says y equals x plus 1. Well, if y equals x plus 1, then when x is 1, y should have been 2. But y is 3, we are told. When x is 1, y is 3. This says the y is 2. That's not the answer. B says y equals x plus 4. Well, that's definitely not the answer, because when x is 1, y will turn out to be 5. We just found out that when x is 1, y is 3. B is not the answer. C says y is equal to 3 times x. Let's see if that does the job. But that does do the job actually. First observation fits. When x is 1, y is going to be 3 times 1, which is 3. So that does the job in that observation. Let's try one more observation just to be on the safe side. Second observation would be when x is equal to 2, y comes out to be 6. 3 times 2 is 6. Well, that's not the case here. Y is 7, we are told. When x is 2, y is 7. Here we get 6. So that doesn't do the job. C is not the answer. Answer is either D or E. Or D is not the answer, because D is just nonsense. D says it is 4 times x. It's definitely not 4 times x, because when x is equal to 1, y would be 4. Y, we are told, is 3. Answer is E. Answer is E. E says 4x minus 1. Let's see if that does the job. Let's say that does the job. 4x minus 1. Where's my pointer? For some reason I am incapable of speaking without a pointer in my hand. I do not know why. So when x is equal to 1, is 4 times 1 is 4, minus 1 is going to be 3. So y is 3. That fits when x is 1, y is 3. When x is 1, y is 3. Let's see if it fits the next one. When x is equal to 2, 4 times 2 will be 8. 8 minus 1 will give us 7. When x is 2, y is 7. I did not mean to put a tick mark on this one. This is not the one we are interested in. This is the value of the x. When x is 1, y is 3. When x is 2, y is 7. It fits. When x is 2, y is 3. Y is 7. Let's do one more. When x is 3, 4 minus 3 is 12. 12 minus 1 is 11. The answer is 11. So when x is 3, y is 11. When x is 3, y is 11. You see? Even though we didn't have to do the third one, we didn't have to do anything at all, because we found out that the first four do not work. In the real exam, of course, we'll not be silly enough to waste this much time. When the first fours do not work, if you, depending on how confident you are in your work, the answer has to be the remaining one. And if you want to try out 1 or 2 observations, of course, that's fine. I wouldn't waste my time doing all 3 of them. But anyway, we are here for learning purposes. The answer is E. The answer is E. We go on to the next page, number 3. Number 3. Page number 949. We're given 2 circles here, a large one and a small one. So let's draw them. Large circle, and next to it we have a small circle, something like this, and A, B, and C. Let's see what they're looking for. In the picture above, the 2 circles are tangent at point B. As we can see there, they touch each other at point B. That's what it means. They are tangent to each other, which means they touch each other at one point. In other words, they don't overlap. They just touch each other at one point. We are also told that A to C is 6. Let's see, what else do we know? If the circumference of the large circle with center A, is twice the circumference of the circle with center C. The circumference of this big guy is 2 times the circumference of that guy. Let's make a note here. Circumference of circle A is 2 times the circumference of circle B. I'm just going to call them circle A and circle B. But if that's true, if the circumference of one circle is twice the circumference of the other circle, that also implies that the radius of the first guy, the radius of circle A, must be 2 times the radius of circle B. That's all. And we know this A to C is 6. If A to C is 6, and this guy has A to B is 2 times B to C, then A to B must be 4 and B to C must be 2. Because 4 plus 2 gives us 6 that we're looking for. That's the only way we can split 6 where one quantity is twice the other. Let's see what they're looking for. What's the length of BC? Well, BC is 2. Length of BC is 2. The answer is B. Let's move on to number 4 then. Question number 4. Number 4. They give us a whole bunch of points on the XY coordinate system. I'm not going to plot all of them. That will take too long. Let's just read the question. You have to have the book in front of you, as I always remind you. Without the book in front of you, you're just wasting your time. Do you understand? You must do the problem with me. You cannot, I'm breaking into one of my sermons here. You cannot learn math by watching somebody else solve the problem. You must solve the problem along with me. Hopefully you have done them already once yourself, and then you're just going along with me second time, or you're going along on the ride for the second time. That will be the ideal situation. These problems should not be alien to you. These problems should not be something that you're looking at for the very first time. Solve them ahead of time, and then compare your work against the work that you and I do together. And that's how you learn. Which of the lettered points in the picture above has the coordinate xy such that we are told that the absolute value of x minus the absolute value of y has to equal 3. What I'm going to do right now, instead of plotting all the points, I'm just going to read the points and I'm going to give you the coordinates, and you make sure that you verify. A to me looks like -3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's -3 and -6. -3 and -6. See if it fits here. Let's put it down here. Absolute value of x minus the absolute value of y has to equal 3. The absolute value of -3 minus the absolute value of -6. absolute value of negative 3 is 3, and absolute value of positive negative 6 is positive 6. That's what absolute value means. Now when you take their difference, it will come out to be negative 3. It does not equal 3. We are told that it equals positive 3. Don't make a mistake. The answer is not A. The answer is not A. Let's take a look at B. B says, let's see what B is. I'm going to leave it up to you to verify what I'm reading here. Make sure that I do not muck it up. Yes, muck it up with an M, not an F. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, negative 4 and negative 1 looks like to me. Negative 4 and a negative 1. So again, we have the absolute value of negative 4 minus the absolute value of negative 1, which is the y coordinate, and that we are told has to equal 3. Let's see if it does. Absolute value of negative 4 is positive 4. A positive 4 minus absolute value of negative 1 is a positive 1. And positive 4 minus a positive 1 does equal 3. That's very good. It works. The answer is B. The answer is B. I'm not going to go through all of them. You do the work yourself and you will see that none of the others work. None of the others work. Just to make sure that you are reading them correctly, C should read as negative 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Negative 2 and positive 5. Negative 2 and a positive 5. Negative 2 and a positive 5. That's our C. D should read as 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 and 1, 2, 3. 4 and 3. D is 4 and 3. And again, very quickly, as you can see, absolute value of C, I'm going to do it out. I told you I'm going to, absolute value of negative 2 is going to be 2. Absolute value of negative 2 is going to be 2 minus the absolute value of positive 5. It's just going to be 5. And again, we'll have the same situation. 2 minus 5 equals negative 3, not positive 3. We need it to be positive 3. That's why C is not right. Same thing with D, it's going to be 4, because these are already positive values for D, the absolute value plays no role here, and it's simply 4 minus 3. 4 minus 3 does not equal, 4 minus 3 equals 1, it does not equal 3, which is why D is wrong, and C is wrong. And E says, let's see what E works out to be, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It looks like 3 and negative 5. 3 and negative 5. Is it 5 or 6 E? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 5. It couldn't have been 6 because had it been 6, it would be at the same distance from the x-axis as point A was, and point A was negative 6. So it is 5 and 3 and negative 5. 3 and negative 5. Again, absolute value of, we are doing E right now. Absolute value of 3 would be 3, and absolute value of negative 5 would be 5, and 3 minus 5 equals negative 2. We need to positive 3. The answer is B. Let's move on then. Enough said. Number 5. Number 5. These questions, the only reason why you will get them wrong, any one of them, the first 1/3 in any section, first 1/3 are easy. Now when I say first 1/3 in any section, you have to understand the language. This section has 18 questions. I'm repeating myself. This question has 18 sections. When I say first 1/3 of a section, I don't mean the first 6 in the sections, because there are 8 multiple choice questions and 10 gradient questions. They have 2 different difficulty scales. When there are 2 different types of in the reading part, for example, in the writing part, for example, in a given sections, they give you 3 different types of questions, and therefore there are 3 different scales. So when I say first 1/3, I mean first 1/3 in this particular section of first 8 questions, because first 8 of them are multiple choice. First 1/3 means the first 2 or 3, you mustn't get them right. They are easy questions. The only reason why you will get them wrong is because you're being careless. That's the only reason. Number 4 is a straightforward question. There is no reason why you should get it wrong. When you get to number 5 and 6, they become medium. So that's a different story. When we get to 6 and 7, when we get to 7 and 8, they're going to be hard. That's a different story. It's one thing to make a mistake in a hard question, but there is absolutely no excuse whatsoever for anybody to miss any of the easy questions. There is absolutely no excuse at all if you have any hope at all of getting a decent score. Do you understand? I'm done with my sermon. I'm in. Number 5. We are told that we have a chart above which shows the results from 1,000 people when they were asked how old are you? And we recorded their responses. The age that they gave is represented by letter X. X represents the answer that they gave you. How many people we are asked said that their age was less than 40? So X is the age, and the question is how many people said less than 40? Well, less than 40, the way they represent it is made up of two parts. It's made up of people who said that their age was less than 20, plus all the people who said that their age was between 20 and greater than or equal to 20 or less than 40. Anybody who said their age was less than 40, but it was equal to or greater than 20 is right here. And this first category, we are told, if you look at the chart there, we are told that it is 30%. It is 30%. Second category, we are told, is 20%, or 20% plus 30% is 50%, and 50% of 1,000. We are told that we surveyed 1,000 people. 50% of 1,000, of course, is half, which is 500. The answer is D. The answer is D. Let's move on to the next one then. Next one, I'm going to get out of frame just for 1 second. I'm not going anywhere. I'm still here, as you can tell. Alright, let's go on then. Number 6. Number 6 that we are about to do, I have two choices. I can just do the problem just for the sake of doing it, or we can learn the concept behind it so that you understand what is going on. You understand? I could very easily tell you to plug in the numbers. They are telling you which of the following could be the remainder when 4 consecutive positive integers are divided by 3. And one way to do that is to make up the 4 consecutive positive integers like 2, 3, 4, 5. Divide all of them by 3 and see what happens, and see what the remainders are for each one of them, and find out the answer from there. That's one way of doing it. But I want you to learn the concept behind it. There is a concept that they're testing. We're going to learn that concept. It's going to take some time, which is why I went in the back of the camera to see how much I have taken so far. This is going to take some time, I'm warning you. So if you don't have the patience, you can stop it right now. Do you understand? Here we go. First thing first, there are some terminology that I want to make sure that you understand for the SAT, because they crop up all the time. And we're going to learn the terminology first. And the terminology that we need to learn are divisors, dividend, and quotient. Of course, most people understand what quotient means, but do you know the difference between these two terms? What is a divisor and what's a dividend? For example, if you were to divide 10 by 5, you will get 2. 2 is called the quotient. What's a 10? 10 is called the dividend. And 5, the number by which you're dividing the other number, is called the divisor. Divisor is also sometimes referred to as factors. So if they tell you what are the divisors of 20, that's just another annoying way of asking what are the factors of 20. Why is it also called a factor? Because as you can clearly see, if 10 is divisible by 5 evenly, which it is, if 10 is divisible by 5 evenly, which it is, I'm looking at my pointer one more time, I don't know where the hell it disappears every 2 seconds. If 10 is divisible by 5, then 5 is a factor of 10. 5 is a factor of 10, therefore 5 is a divisor of 10. Do you understand? Now that we understand the terminology, let's do the couple of problems. We're going to do a couple of division problems. We're going to do a couple of division problems. For example, let's divide 15. We're going to divide it by 3. And then we'll have here, let's put down 18 and let's divide it by 4. Okay, stay with me. I'm going to need your help. Okay, watch what happens. I'm going to divide by 3. So 3 times 4 is 12. That gives the remainder of 3. That one is done. Let's do this one. Again, 4 times 3 is 12. And that gives us a remainder of 6. So far so good, right? What? You don't like it? What's wrong? What is wrong here is the fact that the remainder is 3. If the remainder is 3 and we're dividing it by 3, we could have gone very easily one more round. We could have gone very easily one more round with a remainder of 0. It goes 5 times. In other words, the proper way to show this thing would have been to divide by 5. 5 3s are 15 and would have had a remainder of 0. Same thing here, because the remainder here is 6, which is more than 4. We could have gone one more round. and giving us a remainder of 2. So what do we learn from it? What we learn from it is this. We learn that the remainder can never, ever, never be more than or equal to the divisor. Remainder can never be more than or equal to divisor. Our divisor here is 3. We are dividing it by 3. We are dividing 15 by 3. That's our divisor. This is our divisor. And this is our remainder. Right here is the 0 when it's done properly. But before we stopped right here. Before we had stopped right here. Now that is incorrect obviously because the remainder is 3. 3 equals the divisor. Remainder can never be equal to divisor. Never, never, never. Because if it's equal to divisor, we could go one more round. Same thing here. Here we are dividing by 4. We are dividing 18 by 4. Our divisor is 4. Our divisor is 4. And if you're dividing by 4, remainder, which the way we had done initially, we had a remainder of 6. Well, a remainder of 6, which is more than 4, a remainder can never be more than or equal to the divisor. Remainder cannot be more than the divisor, because if it is more than divisor, why the hell didn't you go one more round? Why did you stop at 3? Well, we could have gone one more round. 4 times 4 is 16. Right? Very good then. Now let's do the problem, shall we? Problem number 6. In problem number 6, it says which of the following could be the remainder when 4 consecutive positive integers are divided by 3. Now the fact that there are 4 consecutive positive integers is of no value whatsoever. It is of no interest to us. No interest to us whatsoever. What matters to us in this particular question, and you will see in a second why, is the fact that since we are dividing by 3, listen very carefully, since we are dividing these numbers by 3, these 4 numbers, they just happen to be consecutive number, which is of no interest to us here right now. What we have, the very first concept that we need to understand before we worry about anything else is the fact that when we divide these 4 numbers, whether we have 4 numbers or 4,000 numbers or 40 million numbers, when we divide them by 3, the remainder cannot be 3 or more. Remainder cannot be 3 or more. Let's take a look. In answer choice A, they're giving us the remainder. This is what they're showing us. 1, 2, 3, and 1. Remainder cannot be 3, for crying out loud. How can the remainder be 3 if you're dividing the damn thing by 3? B says 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, for crying out loud. Not only we have a remainder of 3, which is not possible, remainder cannot be equal to the divisor, but here we have 4, which is even more than that. Nonsense. Utter nonsense. C says 0, 1, 2, 3. No, that won't do it. That won't do it. E says 0, 2, 3. No, 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 that won't do it. That will not do it. The answer is D. The answer is D. You don't have to do any work at all. As long as you understand this concept, you can immediately see that the only possible candidate here is D, without having to plug in numbers and do all the work and so on and so forth. Which you could do that, but if you did that, you're showing that you don't understand the concept behind it. You understand? If you understood the concept, you should immediately recognize here what's going on here. Now, they give you 5 answer choices, and 4 of them are utter nonsense. Do you understand? I will see you tomorrow. Okay, we'll do question number 7 and 8 tomorrow. Those, as I said, are hard questions because those are the last 2 of the multiple choice questions. We'll take care of them tomorrow. Okay, bye now.